Look at you. This is the biggest protest. This is the biggest conservative, right-leaning protest that we've had in the Pacific Northwest in a while. The state of Oregon declared a national emergency, and you are here not getting beat up. And I am not calling for you to, I'm not drawing attention like, hey, everybody, look at this guy over here. Let's you know? But when I go into the protest downtown, the Antifa Black Lives Matter protest,
they asked, why did I fly from Miami to Portland? Hey, let him be. Let him be. Let him go. Hey, stop following. If you're not media, don't follow anybody. Let him go. Listen up. I need you guys to really focus here, because this is what the message is. This is why we came out. We're here for Jay.
Jay!
We're here for Kyle. We're here for Shane. We're here for Gardner. We're here for those 2 Los Angeles Police Department officers that were...
How about Tiny?
This mic hates me too. And those other Louisville police officers that were also attacked.
Hold on, hey, we're seeing people walk away from the stage right now. I told you, do not fucking engage. You understand? They're sitting out there right now looking to arrest people. Don't be a fucking clown. Don't be a hero. Let law enforcement do their fucking job. Sit over here. We came here to spread a message, not to fucking engage. Roger?
so much. We hear that so much. It's a meaningless word anymore. I think that you have to be, again, even if you're not intending that to be, you have to be aware of the condition of society, and that word is used so much. We don't even care about it. Whatever your definition for Nazi is, like, call me it. I don't care, because I'm not a racist. I'm not a person that's a National Socialist. I don't support the Nazi Party of Germany. I don't support the American Nazi Party. I don't support any of that ideology. So when I hear somebody calling a Nazi, because we hear it almost every day, it's a meaningless word. So you tell us somebody's a Nazi, you're using a label. Tell us the action that person did that makes you think like that. Let's have a discussion about it. Because the left tends to throw these slander labels out, and it ends discussion. It ends homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, Nazi, racist. We're sick of it. We want to talk to you guys. And I am one of the people that's out.
Not true. You saw what happened. None of the Proud Boys wanted to talk.
That's an extreme, an absolute statement, and that's not true.
Not really.
But I will agree with you. There's a lot of people on both sides. There's a lot of people on both sides that are not wanting to talk. But I have been out here for months trying to get both sides to talk. You know that because I've reached out to you many times, and we have had good conversations. So
talking usually goes nowhere, though.
That's not.
Usually goes nowhere.
You cannot get mad at them for not being willing to talk, and then say that you believe talking goes nowhere.
If you were to bring
double
Eric
thing.
over here right now and we were to talk, he is not going to change his fascist beliefs by me talking to him.
I don't know Eric. If I knew him or anything about him, I'd try to get him over here and try to get a dialogue with you guys.
He believes because we pay attention to him.
So you're calling him what?
He's a Christian identitarian. So like he believes in a white ethno state, but a Christian-based ethno state. He goes by all others, and he rolls with David Willis. And
let me ask you this: I don't believe in that. I don't believe in an ethno state. I look through history, and you see every time that we have a multicultural society throughout history, Greek, Rome, Babylonians, every time it causes major problems. I don't know how to deal with that issue, and to ignore that that's an issue is a problem that we're just repeating over and over and over. I don't want an ethno state, but I don't know how to fix it. But what I'm asking you, this person that wants an ethno state, like everybody wants a better world. Everybody does, and we all have different ideas, and some of our ideas on how to do that are a little skewed. There's people that think that we can have a better world by burning buildings down. I think that that's crazy. But let me tell you this. Just because he wants that, what is the bad thing that he's doing that makes you want to call him out and target it? Just because he holds that belief. Is he actually calling for violence to bring in that state? Because if he is, talk about that, because I'll be on your side with that. If he's calling for violence to attack minorities and try to get those people out of there, I'm with you. But if he's just holding a belief, if somebody says, like, I'm a National Socialist Nazi, I don't care. Like, okay, you're ignorant and you're an asshole probably, but until you actually start hurting people or trampling on other people's rights, you are free to be a dick.
What do you do when white nationalists gather together and they grow in power? What do? You just let it happen?
That's my answer to that.
That's what's happening.
Let me answer your question. I told you that I'm an idealistic anarchist because I want a world where we don't have rulers. A world with rules but no rulers. But it doesn't work. Human condition doesn't allow it to work. So the answer to the anarchy problem is to have the smallest government possible to keep growing bands of men and gangs from becoming the government.
I don't want to get in a big philosophical debate on ideology because we can go on for hours.
But that's my answer to that question. That's my answer is how do I stop bands of Nazis getting bigger and bigger? We have to have the smallest government possible to stop them from doing that, but also keep the government from getting so big that it's basically them.
Okay. Yeah, I have a rebuttal for that, but I don't really want to get into it because I just totally disagree with that.
But I've got 1,500 people watching, right? There's streams, all these people are recording. This conversation is going to ripple through the society, and it's a good conversation. I am respecting you, and you're respecting me, and we are actually exchanging our different ideas. This is what needs to happen.
But it's not going to change either of our beliefs.
If you believe that, yes.
What do you say? What do you say when the most prominent Proud Boys? I'll just go through a couple. Tiny's been on video talking about wanting to start an anti-faggot, right? What do you do when he's fucking held up because of his violence? What happens when Rufio's a badass because he knocked someone out? What happens when Enrique is the leader and he's been at Unite the Right? What happens when, you know what I mean? Like, these are the leaders of the Proud Boys. Like, how do you decipher? How do you separate
We need
that?
I'm not aware of these incidents that you're talking about. So I would have to have a dialogue with
He's also talked about how he doesn't have any issue with all the alt-right.
Self-defense. And if that guy got knocked out because he attacked a person with a baton,
Sure.
That's his fault.
But he's also been on video saying he supports the alt-right. He doesn't have any issues with the alt-right. He said that on video.
John,
how do you do that? If you don't agree with Nazism, why are you like, I don't have to do this, you can roll here as long as free speech?
my answer to
that's just allowing him.
I believe that there's a natural disorder to the fabric of reality. Things are not going to be perfect. Things are messed up in my heart and in other people's heart, and that's the way the world is, and we have to make the best of it. So when people I deal with it as they come. I have called out many people on the conservative side and on the patriot side and for instigating violence. I've called out people in this crowd right here, right now, personally, face to face. I've called them out personally, face to face, and told them to stop their shit. I have.
That's also a rarity.
But we need to have this dialogue so that we can humanize each other. I'm going to get on a little bit of philosophy.
do that with you. I can do that with
But
you.
I need to get on a little bit of philosophical kick here. If you're saying that words don't matter and that a conversation isn't going to help anything,
You're all right too, aren't you? You're Cali boy.
that's postmodernism. And it's ultimately the belief that words are meaningless. It's just a Western power struggle, and that the only thing that really happens to change the world, your belief that you're expressing, the belief that you're expressing is that violence is the only tool we have to change society. You have to make the decision. Either we're going to have conversations, and we're going to try that until all else fails.
He's got some serious racist beliefs. That's what the shirt is. There's no.
We have to have these
Gotta get rid of
conversations.
these guys.
If we,
You gotta get rid of guys like this.
Are you intending to do him harm?
No, I don't.
No, don't hurt him, okay? We're having a conversation. This is civil, so.
I mean, his mind might be getting harmed by my presence. I don't know.
Well, don't try to intimidate him. There's no reason for that. We're having a civil discussion
He's
here.
not. I'm just giving him shit because he's probably.
Just let it go, man. I don't go out there and try to attack or try to provoke every Antifa or Black Lives Matter that starts eyeing me in the crowd.
This is a Proud Boy event. If the Proud Boys were really against hate, they would get rid of anybody that's against Muslims.
His life matters too, am I right?
Anybody that's against trans people.
But that's the way you see things. The way other
That's
people
not
see
our
things,
fault.
the way this event sees things, is they have the people on stage speaking the message that they're here. Anybody can come here and be part of that. Just because some of the people that show up to be part of that hold nasty beliefs doesn't mean that the people that are holding this event agree with their nasty beliefs or accept them.
There was like 40 Proud Boys. They've been on video talking about how they're not going to instate violence, and they pushed me out.
How can we find a peaceful society unless we find common ground to start from?
Common ground for what? I'm not
This-
going to find
this
common
event
ground.
is talking
I have
about-
Muslim friends. I'm not going to agree with the shit that you guys talk about Muslims.
Did you listen to the speeches up there?
No,
He just
because
talked
they said
about we
something
need to
different
stop
what they
being
really
black
believe.
Americans and white Americans and Muslim Americans. We need to be Americans and band together.
That's ignoring differences. That's all that is ignoring differences.
No, it's not. So often, you guys are the ones that are saying that anybody acknowledges a difference in race is a racist. But then you say that we can't all come together under one banner because we're ignoring differences. We have to have these dialogues. We have to find a common ground. Otherwise, we're going to civil war, man.
I told you I've tried many times. Like I really feel like
You said that this conversation is rare, right? Maybe it took this many
you're
times.
actually an intellectual. You actually can fucking think. Most of these guys
And you're insulting people, but the idea that you're expressing is that there are a limited number of people that are intellectuals in society. The intellectuals lead the non-intellectuals. You
That's
are a
not the way
smart
things are
guy.
working
You were
right
able to
now.
keep up with me on the
That's not the
fly.
way things are working right now. The intellectuals are not leading.
You guys are the ones burning down buildings. You guys are the ones that have said we are going to violence.
I've already told you.
But I'm saying this, what if this is true? What if you tried and you tried and you tried and it took this long until you met somebody like me that'll give you a chance to talk and respect you?
Be like that. Like George Soros, like what?
You can't be a communist and an American
You know
at the same time.
he's already paid me for a whole year.
If you're a
right?
communist, then we got a big problem.
You know Soros
Big
already
problem.
paid me for the whole year.
Are you
know
a
that?
communist?
Listen to
You know
this.
that he's already
Are you a
paid me?
communist?
Listen to this.
Do you consider
This
yourself
whole
like
crowd,
ridiculous.
this whole crowd and all these streams
All right.
are not here to listen to him. They are
That's so
they are
common.
surround us. They are
How many
listening to
people
us.
believe that Soros
just
pays
the Armenian guys
Antifa?
speaking.
People,
Don't
yeah, a lot of
worry.
people
Like
believe that.
guarantee like at least half of the
All right.
people here.
Yeah, yeah.
But you got to understand. You got to admit on the other side that they literally think almost everybody that's white is a racist. There are people that do
There are
that.
people that do that. Yeah.
So we have to start from that and stop judging our group from the best people and their group from the worst people.
That's why I do me, and I point out the people that I have issues with. That's it. That's it. And if I point out a Nazi and a bunch of Proud Boys circle me and push me out instead of addressing the Nazi, that's pretty fucking. Like,
Who you calling a
To
Nazi?
the left would
I was talking about Eric that rolled by in a bike.
increase in numbers
Hey, this is not
largely if there was a
1944, but
paycheck.
you're not
I
embracing
got
it, right?
pushed out
Somebody
within
like
like 2 minutes of being
That's
here.
a
So I don't
prison
even know.
game.
There is no Nazis here, but there's definitely communists like you. Are you a communist? Please answer the question. You're
I
not
want
a
to talk to you more.
communist?
Thank you
All right,
for
go
having
it.
these conversations with me. I loved that conversation when I originally met with you at the Apple Store. That was one of the best conversations I've ever had. I never get to actually talk to leftists and have them be honest about their beliefs and actually discuss them. You were vulnerable and honest with me. You told me all the things that you believe in, even things that would get you targeted as a bad person. You were honest. Like, I believe this. I stand for this, and I respect that in you. And I want to keep having dialogue with you. If we don't have this dialogue, the people that don't have this dialogue are going to fight.
I just really, like right now we're in a situation where like, you saw the shit that was happening with the fires. Like that was all disputed by every single fire and rescue and law enforcement official. And people are still blaming Antifa and they're ready to kill us.
Yeah, and
What do we do about that? What do we do about that? Antifa
got
is getting ready to get killed.
let's do a podcast sometime and talk about it.
But
Because
how is that going to address that there's hundreds of people out there ready to mass murder because they think that
informing
we
people
fucking
actually
killed and
does
burned
help.
down all rural
Informing people
America?
actually does help. We can talk about how it was a strange circumstance. There was a
It's
weird.
not strange at all.
There was. I'm
It's
going to
totally
explain
normal.
why it was a weird circumstance. There was a weird dry spell with a crazy wind storm that came across the West Coast all at once. There were also dozens of people along the West Coast that got caught and arrested for starting arsons. And then that is all during the high tension of the last couple months of riots and we'll call unrest demonstrations every night for more than 100 days. People are on tense and scared. And when over 200 fires start on the West Coast separately in one night, people start getting scared. There were looting in small towns. People were doing home invasions in small towns.
And
People
you know
were,
that shit happens every time, right?
That's all on your
yes,
side.
yes.
And you
If
know,
you've
like,
ever
just in
lived in
Portland,
a
it's like
small
200
town, that's
miles.
pretty
That's your
common.
side. That's
So
not
we
ours.
should have these
But myself.
conversations, and I can give you
Meth
the
addicted,
conservative point of view on it.
crazy people
And
and
I'm not even a
pot
conservative, man, but I understand it because I take the time to. But and you can give your more left perspective on it, and we can talk about that. I don't think I have not seen any evidence of Antifa starting the wildfires. There is this picture going around of people in wildfire gear and holding an Antifa flag. I don't think it looks real. I think it looks photoshopped.
Those were firefighters.
That was?
Those were firefighters down in gas station.
That was a real
There were
fun.
anti-fascists that were also firefighters.
They were putting out the
And
fires.
there's a
How many
gasoline.
fascists have you
Okay,
There's a
I'll take you at your word for that. I still don't know what it is,
used
but
to fuel their
stuff like that.
gasoline-powered,
Why did those guys take that
you
picture?
know?
Because they're proud of being anti-fascists. I
Are
don't
they
know.
trying to provoke people into thinking that they're out there
I don't know.
undercover?
I don't know.
You automatically assume if I go to a protest to film in black bloc that I'm trying to do something nefarious.
I don't necessarily think that about you.
You told me that the reason why you called me out when I'm in there in black bloc is
Because I
because
didn't
it
know
makes
who you were. I didn't know who you were until you
Once
said
you found
something.
out who I was and I started talking,
I
you
was
got
pissed.
louder and you
I was
started
pissed.
shouting and drawing attention to me.
I was pissed. Because I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking to somebody underneath your mask.
I had my earpiece in, and as I
I
told
didn't know
you,
what was going
as
on.
I told you, I had people talking to me on the phone and watching streams to make sure that nobody identified me and started coming to attack me. It's like that. Look
And did I
at
chase
you.
you
You are.
down?
This is
Did
the
I-
biggest
did I-
protest.
did I
This is
send
the
anybody
biggest
after you?
conservative,
You can't even chase
right-leaning
the most
protest that
interesting
we've had in the Pacific
conversation we've
Northwest in
heard
a
all
while.
morning, you know.
The state of Oregon declared a national emergency,
Like you would not
and you
chase
are here not getting beat up.
do you think?
And I am not calling for you to. I'm not drawing attention like, hey, everybody, look at this guy over here. Let's you know. But when I go into the protest downtown, the Antifa Black Lives
But
Matter
you can't say
protest,
that people didn't touch me. They tried to rip my fucking GoPro off my head. Just like
and we stopped you and we stopped them.
Not really.
Why
Not
they try
really.
to
You're not beat up.
Because the cops were there.
You're not beat up, John.
I
sorry.
didn't get hurt. No.
I was right there.
But how is that different from like 30 people yelling at 4 people to get the fuck out of downtown
That doesn't
without
happen.
touching them?
It happens less and less. Remember at the beginning of the protest, when it started to get rowdy, somebody could shout out "peaceful protest," and then 12 more people, and then 50 more people, and then they would police it like that. That doesn't happen anymore. Nobody stops people from jumping the reporters anymore.
But it doesn't really happen. It's happened a few times and it's gotten a lot of attention.
Actually, this last week, it's happening more and more all over the country. There's a girl, there's a very petite girl in Austin, Texas, that put out a video. They beat a girl. A very petite.
Oh, not in Portland.
No.
I mean, we're talking about protests all over the U.S. and you're using one example as a reason to fucking.
But I
condemn.
think the reason why it hasn't happened so much here in Portland because it's got to the point where it's expected.
Wasn't Black
People
Rebel
are
stabbed?
very, very
I'm sorry,
guarding
yeah.
themselves.
Wasn't Black
and
Rebel
they
stabbed?
know that if they step
At a
out
protest?
in the least bit of thing, that the crowd's going to mob them.
And he knows that it was
Wait a second.
Haram has
I
been assaulted
was just
in
ran
protest.
out the other
And in
night.
Portland and across the
By
United
me.
States.
Yes.
You're
It's
saying
not one
I
incident.
was trying to figure out who
So-
you were.
I
I turned
all the
to you.
sides
Okay.
and fuck this, like,
And I was like, hey, and you just kept watching.